I am an intuitive guide, and my talk in March is actually about transitioning from soul-sucking work to sharing your brilliance. And so I wanted to share with you how I went through my journey of getting to this place of defining my own business and sharing my gifts with the world. And so I'd like to start with an instance when I was living in London about 11 years ago. And I really remember the day when I got a letter in my inbox, and suddenly my boss collected all of his things and he left. And it was basically his political, he wanted to take over the company, but the board basically ousted him. And as a result, I had the opportunity to basically lead the entire operations of the London office. I wasn't necessarily paid for this opportunity, but it was something that I was nervous to do. And I kind of had to take it on in the interim while they decided what they were going to do. And so these 6 months that was kind of in transition along the story of the company, I had the best time of my life because I really stepped into a leadership role and I was able to see myself in a different light. I was able to see that I had the ability to sell, the ability to do all the different aspects of the business that were necessary. And I traveled all over the place. And I also really did it on my own terms because there was nobody telling me when something was due and when it wasn't due. So I had this taste of excitement that I really could run a business basically on my own. And unfortunately, when my boss then came back to the organization and he got a consulting firm to then acquire the business, they then subsequently wanted to kind of put me back into a little box. And not going to go into the details of sexism and all the things that all of us women have really gone through. But when I had that taste of the expanded version of myself and what I was capable of, I really couldn't go back. And so I quit that job. I had to move back to the States because I was a foreigner in the UK. And I subsequently got a job in another tech firm in San Francisco. And it was the same story all over again. It was people around me trying to sort of keep me in a little box, keep me in a little role that I didn't find that I was my expanded version and that I could really be living within my talents, be contributing in the best possible way. And so I kind of fell into this deep depression and I started to ask, what's the purpose of life? Why am I here? What is with this injustice that I keep repeating on loop? And I'm sure many of you have gone through different roles and environments where you didn't really feel like you belonged, or it was just something off, right? And so all these questions got me into a place of spiritual awakening. I started learning about Kabbalah, about alchemy, about astrology, about metaphysics, energy healing. It was like one little thing led me to another. And I really awakened to my own intuitive gifts as well. And I started doing healings on myself and then on other people. And I was doing this sort of as a side hobby. I was really just going through the motions during the day at my job. And then at night, it was like this whole other version of me that was unfolding. And I was discovering all these beautiful tools. And I really kept the two worlds very separate. Even when I started doing healings on other people, it was like this separate secret hobby that I didn't want to tell anybody about because who knows who really accepts it or not. And it wasn't until later that I realized that I have this beautiful intersection and understanding of the two worlds, of the business world and of the intuitive and healing world. And that this was really special and that there weren't too many people out there that had the yin and the yang, that had the strategy and the science and then the intuition and the beautiful ways in which many of us haven't really unfolded. And that's really what a embodied person needs to have is to have a little bit of the masculine, feminine properties together in one. And so it got me on a quest to understand how I could really offer this in the best possible way. And so over time, I got to know what my client avatar was. I enrolled in many different types of coaching programs with the millionaire shaman. And each of them, I learned some beautiful tools. But the most important thing that I learned is that I couldn't follow any one specific program. I couldn't follow any one specific method. I really had to innovate and create my own because each one that I went to didn't give me all the answers that I was searching for. And so I realized it was really up for me to go within and understand how I could create this methodology that I was searching for myself and created over time to unlock it for myself. And now I use it for my clients. And it's a really specific process using many different types of tools and my own intuitive guidance of just seeing the consciousness of a business and putting that all together to really get people to understand how they can articulate what they're good at, how to have an expanded view of what they can do in the world and not be limited by the stories that other people may tell them. And so that is where the program Sell Your Brilliance came from, and would love to invite you into my world. I have a beautiful quiz called the Brilliance Archetype Quiz. And hopefully this gives you a few clues, at least to start with, as far as what's the role that you're meant to take. Are you meant to be an educator? Are you meant to be more of a builder or a creator, right? Like we get very confused in our life experiences as to what our mission is and how we're supposed to go about it. And so hopefully this is just really the start to help you uncover some of those beautiful clues and details to get you on the right path to a soul-aligned business.